Who's actually going to get serious improvement out of a home launch monitor, and who should just stick with a cheap swing app? Is the SkyTrak STMAX worth the price tag for the average weekend golfer? Or is it really a tool for the coach-level player who wants tournament-grade data? Those are the questions that keep most buyers up at night, because a wrong purchase can mean months of unused hardware and a dent in the wallet. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you first unpack the STMAX, you're hit with a sleek charcoal casing that feels more like a piece of studio equipment than a golf gadget. The first thing I wanted to know was how easy it would be to set up in a cramped garage or a living room swing space. The unit comes with a modular internal arc that you can mount on a tripod or attach to a wall-mounted rail, and the whole thing slides together without any tools. In practice, that means you can have it ready to launch in under 10 minutes, even if you're not a tech-savvy person. The real test, though, is what happens when you actually start hitting balls. The STMAX markets itself as the only launch monitor with GOLFTEC speed training built in, and that claim hinges on the dual Doppler radar plus photometric cameras working together. In everyday use, I found the radar to be surprisingly steady. It locks onto the ball within a fraction of a second and delivers launch angle, a spin, and carry numbers that line up closely with the numbers you'd see on a professional launch monitor. The photometric cameras add a layer of club head data that most budget units miss, giving you a clear picture of club speed and face angle right after impact. For a golfer who spends a lot of time tweaking driver lofts or trying to dial in a wedge, that combo feels less like a gimmick and more like a genuine coaching aid. Now, let's talk about the software side, because no amount of data is useful if you can't make sense of it. SkyTrak's app ecosystem is where the STMAX really shines. The platform offers skills assessments that break your game into measurable chunks, a bag mapping feature that shows how each club performs under identical conditions, and a wedge matrix that helps you understand how different bounce and grind combinations affect spin. All of that is accessible from a tablet or laptop via the dual USB ports, and the connection is rock solid. I never experienced a dropped sync even when I moved the device a few feet away. The downside? The interface can feel a bit dense for a newcomer. There are layers of menus, and while the data is rich, it takes a few practice sessions to navigate without feeling overwhelmed. If you're the type who likes a simple "you hit 250 yards, good job" readout, you'll need to invest time learning where the deeper insights live. Pricing is the elephant in the room. The STMAX sits in the upper mid-range of consumer launch monitors, and that makes it a borderline decision for a golfer who only plays a few times a month. If you're a serious practice enthusiast, someone who spends at least an hour a week on the range, maybe runs a home simulation setup, or is already using a GOLFTEC coach, the data accuracy and the dedicated training modules can pay for themselves in faster improvement. For a casual player who's happy with a rough distance estimate from a cheap sensor, the STMAX is likely overkill. Battery confidence is another practical concern. The unit plugs directly into mains power, which is fine for a permanent indoor setup, but it does limit portability. I tried moving it to the backyard for a sunny afternoon session, and the need to run a power cord was a minor annoyance. The device does have an internal battery backup that keeps it alive for a few minutes if the power hiccups, but you can't truly take it on a road trip without a power source. That's something to weigh if you travel to a friend's house or a club and want to bring your own data. One of the strengths I noticed in real-world use was the consistency of club head data across multiple clubs. I tested a 5-iron, a 7-iron, and a driver, and the STMAX gave me repeatable spin and launch angles that matched what I was seeing on a high-end launch monitor at the local pro shop, within a margin of error that's acceptable for home practice. The photometric cameras also handle low-light conditions better than many competitors. You can practice in a dimly lit garage and still get reliable data, thanks to the camera's sensitivity and the device's ability to adjust exposure on the fly. On the flip side, the unit's size and weight make it less than ideal for a truly mobile setup. It's sturdy, but you'll need a dedicated spot or a sturdy tripod to keep it stable. Also, while the dual Doppler radar is great for ball flight, It can occasionally misinterpret stray objects. A stray shoe or a moving pet can throw off a reading. The